Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. It's 10 years since Alex Ferguson's Manchester United retained the Premier League title. Since then, no club has managed back-to-back championships. Time and again, winners have been reduced to also-rans. It looked as though Manchester City would break that cycle, so convincingly did Pep Guardiola mastermind victory last season. But before playing Everton, they were in second place.
Gabriel Jesus, they're going top again. City have found the way, as they always do. And Pep's back at the top of the tree.
Top, but there's a caveat. City have played a game more than second-placed Liverpool.
I'll have one more game. So Liverpool have one, and Tottenham as well, and Chelsea and the other teams. When they equalize everything, we will see what happened. But a few days ago, we could be 7 points, and now we are in the position that we are. But 12 games and still a lot of points to play.
At the Etihad, City have been imperious this season. 12 wins from their 13 league games on their own turf. They've amassed more points at home than any other side, often inspired by David Silva, nicknamed Merlin because of his wizard-like passing abilities. He's been involved in all 3 of City's Premier League triumphs.
We have great players in the squad, with a lot of quality. But I also think we have a good mixture of young players and experienced ones. I think my time playing here helps a lot, because I have lived through this before, and that's going to help us.
After back-to-back defeats with no goals scored, the pressure was beginning to build on Maurizio Sarri and his troubled team. And then the league's bottom side, Huddersfield, came to Stamford Bridge and Chelsea shook off the blues.
David Luiz, it's deflected in. Chelsea get themselves back on track in style.
Back on track and back in 4th place, but Chelsea are just 2 points ahead of Manchester United, so no time to rest on their laurels.
Against Huddersfield, I was really very happy with the result, but especially with the performance. Now we know very well that we need consistency, and so I hope that our version on Sunday will be the best.
A sight to delight Chelsea eyes. Gonzalo Higuain and Eden Hazard look capable of bringing the best out of each other. The Belgian never scored while playing alongside the now departed Alvaro Morata. His 2 goals against the Terriers suggest that he may have found a more suitable playing partner.
I think Hazard needs a focus, a target man. They've parachuted in Gonzalo Higuain. He's off the mark. He's shown his quality. He's shown what he is capable of. But he needs to do that consistently. He has that opportunity, but he's also got someone on that left-hand side who can create goals for top players. Hazard had that relationship with Diego Costa when Chelsea won the title under Mourinho. Now he's got to strike up a partnership and an understanding with Higuain.
Back in December, Chelsea inflicted upon the champions their first loss of the campaign. That result knocked Guardiola's side off top spot, a position they've just reclaimed. Given City's home form and Chelsea's recent travel sickness, it may well be the Catalan rather than the Italian smiling at full time.
If this is a better ball, then it could get damaged. What I would say is this. He's an extra defender.
Absolutely.
That starting position.
He sweeps up everything. He does it time and time again. He's quick off his line. Not only can he play with his feet, he gives them that. He's the sweeper. He reads the play. He identifies where the danger is and he comes and does it. He done it again last night. He done it again against his Arsenal game. He's fantastic at it.
Yeah, certainly is. Marco Silva must be watching this thinking, what could he have done?
Well, the thing is, mate, he doesn't know what to expect. You know, yeah. We talked about it. These players here, they didn't know what to expect. Pep just tweaks it. He knows he's got bright guys here who can adapt and they can implement what he's trying to tell them, but he's telling them very, very late in the day. You know, so they can't leak any information to the opposition, not that they would, and it's impossible for the opposition manager to second guess what Man City are going to do.
Yeah, I mean, remember that image, because that's Fernandinho in a back four, but this is against Arsenal, but look, I mean, it is 5 and 5 though, isn't it?
It's 5 and 5 at times, but I think one thing what they do, they're happy with their centre-backs to defend on their own at times. you know, and they push everyone forward. But what they try and do is just keep the opposition back in the final third. And in their final third, they just push them back and back and back time and time again. And they work overloads down the side.
It's still 5-5. This is last night.
Yeah.
If you're Marco's sort of watching this, different people though, different personnel. But this is Fernandinho in the position that we expect. So we'd have watched the Arsenal game thinking, right, Fernandinho's going to play in the back four. He's going to come into midfield. He's had probably had plans how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's back to perhaps how we're used to seeing Fernandinho.
OK, so Maurizio Sarri is watching 2 games, isn't he? He's asked his
So that's what I'm asking you. So you're Maurizio Sarri. Now, what do you do?
No, you've got to try and... it's impossible to try and stop them because you don't know what they're going to do. What you have to do is try and implement yourself on them. They've got good players, Chelsea.
And they've beaten City once already.
We know on their day they can cause them a big problem. It's going to be tough. Going to the Etihad is always going to be tough. But they're capable. We have to say they're capable. But to try to get a plan to stop Man City... or a team like Chelsea, you forget it because you don't know what you're going to get.
No.
Well, you know you're going to get fantastic players in every position. And you can know they can counter you. And you know they can play in tight areas.
I know all that. But what we don't know is who's going to play. And actually, the last 2 games, we've seen Gundogan and Bernardo Silva in the starting 11. And, you know, De Bruyne on the bench last night, Sterling on the bench last night. And yet these two have played the last 2 games.
Bernardo Silva played against Liverpool and was outstanding.
He was, yeah.
And
in a different position.
In that central midfield role. He was tackling people. He was getting back round, stopping counter-attacks, then setting Man City off on their way. And now he's playing loose off the sides with a full wide right around him. You know, like I say, they're all clever. They all can play. If we have a little
This is his position now.
Yeah, I'm going to
He was a box-to-box midfielder.
I want to identify something here. When they pass the ball in there to Fernandinho, they're not trying to get him turned on the ball. They're trying to create a melee. This is the big switch of play.
Yeah.
This is the big switch, what they're looking to do. Now overloads.
And they get away with it.
But they look to create melees, this little short passings.
This is the overload again, isn't it?
There it is, down the sides again. But they're incisive. They don't pass just for the sake of it. They look to get in all of the time. Get to the byline and get crosses and feed the box and load up the box. That's what they did time and time again. This is the Fernandinho one when he
This is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the melee. Look, they're creating a melee. Everyone comes towards the ball.
So
we know what they want to do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players around it.
Absolutely.
But the space is over here, isn't it?
They make Everton feel like they can win the ball in here. So they're playing little tippy-tappy passes, but they know what they want to do. They want to take the switch out here.
Yeah.
And eventually they get the switch.
And there it is.
And now they've got a 1v1 situation. Now they're trying to get down the sides again, get shots at goal. They're incisive. They look to penetrate at every opportunity. They don't just pass the ball for the sake of it.
Overload.
Down the side again. Overloads, down to the byline. Time and time again they do it. They get lucky here. Pickford gets very lucky, gets blocked off. Overhead kick from Aguero. Could have been game over at that stage.
We talk about those overloads in the middle of the pitch, and that results in them scoring an unbelievable amount of goals from inside the 6-yard box. If we have a look at the stats, they have scored 18 goals now from inside the 6-yard box because they don't get themselves into wide positions and just deliver crosses into the box.
Yeah.
They get themselves so close in, don't they? Almost on the corner of the 6-yard box before they deliver the ball.
They're not playing with a big man, are they? I mean,
Aguero or Jesus.
Two strikers are small guys, you know. They're working on cutbacks.
They're
working on clever movement. It's just a lump into the box and a header or a knockdown. That's why they need to get closer to the goal. So instead of crossing the ball when they're wide, they work it to whip for the 18-yard box and down the sides, and they're pulling. I mean, it's amazing how they do it, but they train it. It doesn't just happen, Matt, on a match day. They train it every single day. They're working them little patterns.
The first team we probably saw do this was Arsenal. We felt they used to pass the ball. Everyone used to say, Arsene Wenger's teams, they pass the ball into the back of the net. They get themselves into that position. That's similar to Arsenal, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
These are goals we've seen over the time of Pep Guardiola being in charge. The amount of times they score, that type of goal.
Well, they got clinical finishers, because the criticism is for a lot of teams who try and do this. Well, they're trying to walk it in. Why don't they shoot? Why don't they cross it earlier? But they wait until the right time. They've got good players who make correct decisions at the right times. That's what sets apart excellent players to average
Just
players.
outside the 6-yard box. We'll give him that one.
Oh, if we had them at 8 yards, it would be double that, wouldn't it? You know, it's just, look, that's not a crossing position.
You're actually thinking, how on earth are they going to score, really? All those bodies back, how on earth are they going to get
But this Raheem Sterling is the one who's benefited most from Guardiola's information and learning from the likes of David Silva, you know, to find, is there someone in a better position?
Most players
years ago he would have done the same player. He's allowed to develop, and he's developed outstandingly well under Pep Guardiola. But he would never have looked for a pass years ago. He would have dribbled into there, and before he was getting closed down by the fullback there, he would have got a shot off. But now he's taken an extra touch. He would have hit it by now, and he's cutting it back for someone else to have a tap.
Once you get in there as well,
and he's scoring all the goals himself.
Well, defenders are nervous of making a challenge as well, aren't they? But once you get him into the box.
Look at Raheem's position. Never used to see him do that. He used to be out here. That's why we want him in that position for England a lot more. Look at the quality of his pass there. That's just, I mean, that is outstanding. That is outstanding. Look, roll it across. Let me tap it in. Thank you. Fantastic. Just time and time again. I mean, look like the same goals. If they had the same shirts on, we could be showing the same goals.
I'm not sure how many goals this is now, but there was 18 of them anyway this season inside the 6-yard box. This is just brilliant, isn't it?
That pass from Gundogan, the weight of pass is fantastic.
Aguero's
again. That's off his left side there, Sterling.
Well, all 3 goals in that game for Aguero came inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
I think a total distance of about 9 yards.
Yeah, he won't care.
No.
He won't care. They count all the same.